Well, first of all, it's great to be here in Belfast today. At the spending review and budget, we put significant investment into Northern Ireland and specifically in Belfast with the city deal, the growth deal, the £25 million that's going into Studio Ulster. So this government are committed to ensuring that as we grow the economy, all parts of the UK benefit, including here in Northern Ireland. And if you look at our industrial strategy, whether it is investment in defence or in our creative industries, Northern Ireland is a leader in those sectors, and so that's why today I'm spending time both with Thales, the defence company, but also here at Studio Ulster. In terms of the labour market data that came out today, there was some really positive news in there that employment since I became Chancellor last year is 384,000 higher, so 384,000 more jobs in the economy than there were just over a year ago when I came into office. And although the number of people who are unemployed increased slightly on the quarter, the number of people who are economically inactive actually fell by much more, I think 3 times more, than the increase in unemployment. So some of those people who have been out of the labour market, often for long periods of time, are actually getting into work, and that's really encouraging. But the most important figure today is that there are 384,000 more people in work than when I became Chancellor. Is there more to do? Absolutely there is. Everybody who can work should be in work, and as a government we're committed to helping more people back to work. There are huge opportunities in our economy. I'm seeing some of them today in creative industries and defence, but right across the UK there are big opportunities. There are still over 700,000 vacancies in the economy, so there are jobs out there. We need to do more to support people back into appropriate work for them.
Good morning, Chancellor. Your leader is using the local growth, very important policy for your government. Do you accept policies that your government have brought in that will disproportionately affect Northern Ireland, given the fact that we have very dependent on SMEs, farm inheritance? These things will disproportionately affect Northern Ireland. So you're away from them very clearly. Just looking at the labour market data, it does show that vacancies are falling. So do you think that you're capitalising or is there something that you're doing with it?
Well, first of all, there is huge opportunity here in Northern Ireland in some of the most exciting growth-rich sectors of the economy, particularly in defence and in creative industries. 9,000 people in Northern Ireland work in our defence sector. I'm visiting Thales today, who through UK Export Finance has won a contract to supply the Ukrainian government, the Ukrainian people, with the defence equipment they need to fight off Russia and Vladimir Putin. So it's great to be there later today. But another big growth sector is our creative industries, whether that is video games or film or television. And talking to people who are working here, who are running their businesses out of Studio Ulster, we've got some of the best facilities, not just in the UK, but in the world here. And that reflects investment both by the Northern Ireland Executive, but also by the UK government, and specifically through the Belfast City growth deal that we announced as a government, £25 million of investment, supporting jobs, supporting innovation here in Northern Ireland. Vacancies remain at a historically high level, more than 700,000 vacancies in the economy today. And if you look at the growth numbers in the first quarter of this year, we were the fastest growing economy in the whole of the G7, whilst the US economy shrunk in the first quarter of this year. The UK economy grew. We'll get data for the second quarter of this year later this week, but we are creating more jobs, 384,000 additional jobs compared with a year ago. Wages are rising at a faster rate than inflation, putting more money in people's pockets. Is there more to do? Absolutely there is. I want people in all parts of the UK to feel the benefits of that that job creation, of those new opportunities in sectors from defence to creative industries to life sciences and financial services. But there are good opportunities. We are fixing the mess that we inherited from the previous Conservative government. There's been 5 cuts in interest rates, taking money off of people's mortgages. There is more to do, but in the first year, we've managed to return stability to the economy. We're growing the economy and reducing costs, particularly mortgage costs for hard-pressed families. Northern Ireland is absolutely crucial for the United Kingdom, including for our growth prospects. We've got here at Studio Ulster not just the best facilities in the UK, but the best facilities in the world for a part of our economy that is globally growing at such a fast rate. And this is the best place in the world to make those investments, to start a business, to grow a business, whether that's in video games or TV or film. That's really exciting, and we benefit hugely from the thriving creative industry sector here in Northern Ireland. But also governments around the world are increasing what they're spending on defence because the world has changed. We can see that all around us, and the threat levels are increasing. And as we invest in defence, both to keep Britain safe but also to keep Europe safe, there are businesses here based in Northern Ireland who are producing the equipment to do just that. And one of the decisions that myself and the Prime Minister made just a few months back was to award UK export finance money, something that this Labour government has increased to protect and grow the number of jobs in the defence sector here in Northern Ireland. And as we step up that defence spending to 3% and then 3.5% of GDP in due course, that will mean more good jobs, paying decent wages here in Northern Ireland. My economic belief, my strong belief, is that all parts of the country should be able to contribute to economic growth and prosperity, and all parts of the country should benefit from economic growth and opportunities. That's not been the case for far too long in the UK. Small parts of the country, a small number of industries, a small number of people have benefited when the economy's grown. That's not the model of economics that I believe in. I believe that growth has got to come from all parts of the country, and everybody should have that ability to be able to contribute. And that's why investments in things like the Belfast City deal, Studio Ulster, and also those investments in defence spending, which do particularly create jobs outside of London and the South East, are so important for this government's plan to grow the economy. So I believe that the future is bright for Northern Ireland when you have two governments working together in partnership. And that's what we have today. The UK government and the Northern Ireland Executive are working together to improve the lives, to improve public services, but also improve the prospects for jobs and growth and prosperity here in Northern Ireland. And facilities like this are invested in both by the Northern Ireland Executive but also the UK government. That's a great example of two governments working together, and I want to enhance that both through the Treasury but through everything that we do as a government. We made the settlements for Northern Ireland at the spending review along with the settlements for Scotland and Wales just a couple of months ago. It's the biggest real-term settlement since the Good Friday Agreement, and we want to work together with the Northern Ireland Executive to make sure that money is well spent and delivers on the priorities of people in Northern Ireland. But I've had the opportunity to meet the First Minister and Deputy First Minister and Finance Minister now on a few occasions since I was appointed as Chancellor. I'll do that later again today. But there are strong, good relationships between our government, our UK government, and the Northern Ireland Executive here. So last year in the budget, I had to raise significant sums of money to put our public finances back on a firm footing, but also to put that record investment into our NHS and also to provide that record settlement for the Northern Ireland Executive, the biggest real-term settlement since the Good Friday Agreement. And that money is only available because of the decisions that we took in the budget last year. But they were the right and they were the fair decisions. We didn't increase the taxes that ordinary working people paid. Their national insurance, income tax, VAT, fuel duty did not go up in the way that the previous Tory government had in their plans, so protecting the incomes of ordinary working people. And since we came into office, real wages have been rising at a faster rate than inflation, and specifically on agricultural property relief. If you've got agricultural property worth less than £3 million and you own it jointly with a partner, you'll pay no inheritance tax when you pass that farm on. But I do believe that if you do have agricultural property worth more than £3 million, you should make a contribution. But the agricultural property relief, the inheritance tax on that, is half the rate that anybody else pays, at just 20%, and it's payable over 10 years, interest-free. So I do think that that gets the right balance. We needed to raise money to invest in public services, and if people disagree with those tax changes, they either need to admit that they're not willing to put the money into our public services and in that settlement for the Northern Ireland Executive, or that they would increase taxes elsewhere, for example, on ordinary working people. Those weren't my choices. I've made my choices, and I'm very happy to defend them.
Hello, Chancellor. Just in February, Cabinet College effectively prohibited the Executive for dragging its feet around transformation of public services. Will you be bringing that same message to Stormcastle today? And if you are, will it be accompanied by a carrot or a stick?
So my message is that we want to work together. The UK government, the Northern Ireland Executive have got a joint commitment to improve the lives for people here in Northern Ireland. We've made that record settlement at the spending review just a couple of months ago, 3-year settlement for day-to-day spending, a 5-year settlement for capital investment. And that means that the money that we need for our public services in Northern Ireland and across the UK is now available. Now we've got to spend that money wisely to get the best value for money for taxpayers. But we also need to grow the economy and create more good jobs, paying decent wages here in Northern Ireland. And that's why today I'm both at Studio Ulster, where new jobs are being created, where businesses are being supported in the creative industries, and later today at Thales, the defence firm that is manufacturing equipment, going straight to the front line in Ukraine and supporting jobs, creating jobs and more prosperity and good jobs paying decent wages here in Northern Ireland. So I see this as a partnership approach.
Last, certainly not least, David from Manchester.
A recent report by the FSB said that 33% of businesses in Britain stop selling to the firm because of compliance with the winter framework. Surely that's trade diversion. When is the government going to act?
So we are implementing the Windsor Agreement, but we're also building on it with the deal that we struck with the European Union in May this year that we are now going on to implement. And those things facilitate more trade and the flow of goods between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK, and indeed Northern Ireland and the European Union. And we want to make sure that businesses here in Northern Ireland, but also businesses in the rest of the UK, have access to the markets here in Northern Ireland. But I think that normalisation of relations with the European Union is incredibly important, including for people in Northern Ireland in a whole range of sectors, whether that's in food and farming or fishing, or indeed in other sectors of the economy that benefit from those improved trade relations that we've managed to secure as a government.